Oh no! Help.
Who's knowing?
Scene 1, take 1, marker. This is crazy.
Dad's gone and we're throwing a party.
There's lights in my face. I'm scared. I don't feel good.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the first ever episode of the Fish Official Sass Ryland Adams. And today we have Christopher Bessington.
What was that?
This is what we call in the industry a meltdown. This is called She Was Up All Night Panicking. And I was tossing and turning all night. I was like, oh my God, I'm in charge of the SIP this week. I don't know how to work any of the equipment. I don't know how to work the editing software that Ryland uses. What am I going to do about hard drives and memory cards? And then I wake up at 6 a.m. to a text from Ryland being like, I don't have any memory cards, so figure your life out. I was like, no!
Yeah, this is a little bit terrifying, if
But
I'm being honest.
For those of you who are audio only, Ryland Adams is out. We axed a bitch.
Yeah, where is he? He's in Colorado, right?
Don't tell the people where he is.
Oh, I don't know where he is.
Nobody knows where he is. He went out for cigarettes last week, and we haven't seen him since. It's crazy.
I miss her sweet king.
I do miss our sweet king. But today we are joined by our beautiful cameraman. You're going to have to say your own name, though, because I'm still not on that tip.
Christopher Breitinger
And his beautiful, helpful boyfriend.
My boyfriend's here. Oh, there's a button.
Oh, it's so quiet.
Oh, you know how to work it.
He doesn't know what's happening because he doesn't have headphones on, but there was a whole crowd clapping for you. How's it feel to be behind the camera?
It feels kind of weird.
Yeah.
This whole thing feels crazy.
Yeah.
This whole thing feels weird.
Definitely not used to this.
The boyfriend's here. I'm on the wrong side of the camera.
You're on this side of the camera.
I'm sweating.
You're an actor and you do Shane Dawson podcast. You should be used to this by now.
That's different because there's 3 other hilarious gentlemen that when I panic and have nothing to say, they take the lead.
So what the fuck am I, Chris?
You're hilarious.
What did we say? I'm chopped
You're
liver?
amazing.
Was that?
No, there's 3 other. You know what I'm saying? Oh no.
Oh no, indeed. So how was your week, Christopher?
It was good. It was really nice. We went to our first ever, not my first. I'd been to a few already, but his first ever Pride Parade
Oh my
/
God.
festival, which you loved, right?
Yes.
Really contributing.
You could leave him off mute.
Can I?
I mean, what's he going to say? Anything? But you had fun?
It was actually a good time, yeah. I was expecting to be way different, but it was actually very...
He thought it was going to be, because the only thing he had ever seen was the terrible stereotypes of naked flamboyant men all over the place. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
things
is that a
people-
horrible stereotype? I
It
think
is.
that's the fun of WeHo, right?
But it's not Pride. Pride is families with children and Macy's floats and very tame and civilized and not really any of that. I mean,
So it's not the Abbey on a Saturday night.
No.
No.
No. I mean, there's after parties.
But we also love the Abbey on a Saturday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
The only place I ever went out in LA was the Abbey on a Saturday night.
Was it really?
Yeah, well, that and I did one time I went to the nightclub. What is it called? No Vacancy. Have you been there?
No.
If you live in LA or if you ever intend on going to No Vacancy, speed through this because this is a major spoiler alert. No Vacancy is the type of club that has a theme to it. And this one's sort of a burlesque sort of whorehouse theme. So when you go in, they take you through a hotel room.
Okay.
And you get into a hotel room and there's a woman there who looks like a prostitute and there's a bed and you're with a group of people. And she's committed to her character. They're talking about it like you're about to all fuck. And I went meeting friends there. I was late to the group. So I went in alone. And I just kept going, I think I'm in the wrong place, guys. And this poor woman was like, no, she's staying in character. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. I'm in the wrong place. I'm just going to go. And it was I was so panic stricken that this woman broke character. She's like, shut up, you dumb bitch. This is part of it. We're going to lift the bed up and you're going to go down these fucking stairs and you're going to like it. And I was like, okay, my bad. I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I'm alone. I didn't want to fuck strangers tonight and here with you. I didn't know.
Who invited you to this?
I was meeting Joe there.
What?
Yeah, but it's not it's a regular club. It's just a theme. It's like Bootsy Bella's, how you go through the kitchen and everything to get to the club. And I just didn't know because I don't go out.
You and Joe are a little freaky in real life is what I just learned.
But yeah, that's my experience with clubbing.
I'm a bad gay, I feel like. And a late blooming gay. I didn't really go to clubs or things until later in life. He's actually making me go to stuff now more than ever.
Oh, fun.
The last 10 years we were 90-year-old retired gay came in. That just were like home or at work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Making nice dinners, pairing nice wines.
Yeah, that's all we did.
That's what I know from The Last of Us.
And
That's what I know about old gays.
I still haven't seen it.
Well, you got to stop watching 13 Reasons Why.
No.
13 Reasons Why? Is that what I said, or did I have another
He
stroke?
likes it too. That's what brings us together.
How many times have you guys watched 13 Reasons Why?
We watched only one. Well, a separate a couple times, but together we watched it again.
You fuck with 13 Reasons Why?
Sometimes, yeah.
Did you see it all the way through the conclusion?
Yes.
Really? And you're into it?
Huh?
You loved the conclusion? It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
You gotta admit, that's crazy
But
shit.
the first season.
The first season's whatever. It's captivating. I watched the first season, and I
Okay.
watched the final episode where the boy, another spoiler alert. God, people hate spoiler alerts.
Well,
But the boy, you know the last episode, goes out, gets addicted to opioids,
his
starts
brother?
intravenous using, or whatever it's called, becomes a gay street prostitute, gets AIDS, and dies
You're right.
in the span of a fucking day.
It's a wild day.
Crazy
Um,
day.
I watched another show because of you recently.
What did you watch?
I watched The Idol.
Oh, are we gonna get right into it?
I don't know. Should we wait?
Let's do it. Let's get into it. So you watched The Idol. Did you watch the first episode or just the second?
We watched both of them last night.
Oh,
and it's
that's a lot of The Idol in one sitting.
It's the first like anything I'd watch. I don't watch TV almost ever.
Yeah.
So this is the first TV I'd watched in a very long time, and he was like, "Why does she want you to watch this?"
Great question. So one of the reasons why I want him to watch it is because this is one of those shows where, like Euphoria, you expect it to be so like disturbing and stunning and, you know, shock worthy that it's a must talk about thing. You can't not talk about it. After it premiered at Cannes, the guy who made it, Sam Levinson or whatever his last name is, was like talking, like reports were coming out that it was a negative set experience, that there was the nature of the sexual violence in the show itself was bordering on abusive and hard to be part of during filming. And he said to reporters on the panel at Cannes Festival after they showed the first 2 episodes, he's like, I think we just came up with the best show of the summer or something.
Whoa.
Like something very arrogant like that. So I went into this thinking like, oh, this is going to be lit. Like, this is going to be as upsetting as Euphoria, which I'm upset by. I think there are things in Euphoria that, like, aren't for me. Yeah. And it's like, I'm okay with depicting sexual experiences amongst teenagers because that happens. Teenagers have sex. I don't need to see a perceived teenager's nipples getting railed from behind and choked. I don't need to see it. Something in me is, like, good on the implied nature of that sexual violence, and I don't need to see nipple. But Sam likes to show nipple. So, like, good for that middle-aged man.
There's a lot of nipple. Is this for Lily's, like, first thing?
This is Lily's kind of first huge thing. She's been in a lot of little things. She was in, like, a Kevin Smith movie called, like, Yoga Hosers or something.
Oh, that was bad, though.
Yeah, it was bad. That was really bad. But I think she's incredible. And so I started watching the series thinking this was going to be like Euphoria.
Yeah.
And I have...
Which I haven't seen, so I can't comment.
That's fine. But I've been... what did you think?
I'll say like the very opening scene of the first episode, I was like, whoa, just by Lily's performance of the like one take showing all the emotions and then immediately crying on command. I was like, whoa, she's the real deal. Like, she's an incredible actor.
I think she's so fucking talented, and like I'm concerned that this show is like, I think a woman of that talent can't be tainted by this shitty show.
Yeah.
And I think that's intriguing. This rat tail, pathetic, cult leading, impoverished motherfucker is not it for me.
He hates Abel's character in the show.
I don't think anybody likes Abel.
But you're supposed to not like him, right?
Right, you're supposed to not like him. His character name is something like Topher Topher.
I don't know. It's funny. I remember you mentioned in one of the last episodes the like firm, stiff rat tail.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is she talking about? Because I saw him for a second.
Yeah.
I didn't know. And then there's a scene where he's walking through the house and it was like pointy.
Yeah, no, you could fuck that rat tail. Like, that is like that's a hard one. You know what I'm saying?
It was aggressive.
It's aggressive.
But he's not a bad actor.
He's not a good actor. And if I have to sit through another second of him whispering weird, dirty shit to Lily Rose Depp, I might fucking puke.
It's all weird. The whole thing is super, super weird. It's shot nicely.
It is beautiful. It is definitely beautiful. It's shot in the Weekend's home. And I do have to say that at the end of this episode, like as boring and as fucking stupid as it was, at the end of it, I felt slightly intrigued by the notion of, that's just barely hinted at, that Topher Topher has a cult. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
So I think that the rest of the season is going to be about him moving this cult into her house, and it's like a Manson style thing.
Yeah.
But to me, what we care about in Euphoria are the people. You know, we give a shit about Rue's journey. We want her to get clean and sober. We want her to get out of this hell.
Yeah.
There's not a fucking drop of giving a fuck about anyone in this except for maybe her assistant, who I'm like, someone help her.
Yeah, I feel that way too about the assistant, actually.
Yeah.
She seems sweet.
She seems great.
But yeah, the main character just seems really, really, really sad.
Yeah.
Like miserably, maybe gonna kill herself sad.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's all that I really...
And then they just sort of throw in her mouth. She's like, I want to be bigger than my music. And it's like, I haven't seen her sing. I haven't seen this woman sing.
That's true.
I actually have seen her never sing. I've seen her masturbate 55 times and rub ice on different parts of her body. And I've yet to see this woman who's so fucking passionate about singing sing, except for when she harmonizes at the end.
Can she sing in real life?
Probably not, but like, let's fucking fake it. It's TV, dude. This isn't live.
That's true.
So I was reading, this guy wrote like 12 questions about The Idol. Like that was his review of it. He just has 12 questions.
Oh, okay.
And so I highlighted my favorite ones because they were killing me. And this is on vulture.com. And it's, oh, his name is Tedros. Tedros, not Topher Topher. Is Tedros a literal vampire? Can he not answer the phone during the day because that's when he's in his coffin?
Maybe.
Literally spelled out honk shoe.
Very possibly.
What kind of 2-bit operation has no cameras shooting coverage on their music video? The fact that they're shooting that music video with a single camera on a crane and there's no coverage elsewhere. And they're like letting this poor girl go take after take after take, even though she's like, the top of that's trash. The rest of it you can't use. It's like, that's not how this works, bitch. Like, they're going to use 5 seconds of this. Like, what in the hell?
You just reminded me that whole bit where they were like, she did the entire performance.
Yeah.
And she's like, we got it. And they were like, oh, the entire thing was out of focus. I'm like, that would never happen.
No,
like,
also cut it. Save this poor girl. The
someone
misery.
at some point would be like, cut, or it's
Yeah.
out of focus, or hold on, or something.
I also love that she's running up and down the stage. There's a scene where she's trying to redeem herself after she's canceled her last stadium tour or whatever, and she's like trying to show like, I can work, I can do the work while being hungover and like all fucked up on Mountain Dew, but like I can do the work, so like cover up the cuts on the insides of my thighs and let's get to dancing. And she's up on the stage, and to watch playback they make her run off the stage with her asshole out to the monitor to watch playback and then back up onto the stage. And the amount of times I watched this poor girl just hustling back and forth, like Joe and I were dying of laughter. We're like, get this bitch a monitor. Is this a fucking joke? Like, there's too many items of technology in this world for this little naked bitch to have to crawl up onto the stage like a little honey badger.
It's just sadder to watch. I think that's the point.
And then there's a new girl, Chloe, who's introduced as like the person who braids Tedros' hair horribly.
What was the point of her?
So I think his cult is a cult of musicians. Like, we learn that they all have a musical talent and they're all obsessed with him, and he says that he's gonna like make them famous, which like honestly is kind of Charles Manson-y, because Manson was originally a singer.
Yeah, didn't he make songs with like the Beach Boys and stuff?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I think one of his, I don't know enough to talk about it, but I think one of his initial like people that he was going to target was a former Beach Boy, and it just, but then he like left the house. I'm making this up.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Don't take it as fact. Don't take anything I say here as fact. No. So we meet this girl, Chloe, whose like immediate thing when she gets to fucking Jocelyn's house is she takes her clothes off and jumps in the pool and gets her hair all fucked up and wet.
Yes.
2 seconds later, this is the question.
Oh.
Did Chloe give herself a blowout after swimming in one of Jocelyn's 2 pools? 2 scenes later, never mind, her hair is messy again.
Incredible.
And then did you know Max has a mute function so you don't have to listen to Abel the Weeknd Tessife's erotic ASMR?
When it said Max, I was like, who's Max in the show?
Oh,
I forgot that they rebranded HBO Max.
Yeah.
Why did they rebrand 10 times?
Who could ever really say, dude? But you know what? Life is long. Be who you want to be.
That's a beautiful message.
Yeah. Well, it's getting hot in here, don't you think?
Yes. I never realized how hot it is in here.
Yeah.
Somehow, I don't know if it's because I'm sweating and because I'm nervous, or the lights. I don't know.
It's probably because I'm so fucking attractive
That's
that
it.
it's like I radiate heat and
Dude.
like everything around me gets a little bit sunburnt and a little bit sweaty.
That makes sense.
So I'd like to apologize right here and now for the effect I've had on all of you, weather-wise. But I am ready to serve up some iced tea.
I almost said the wrong thing.
We'll get there.
This is new. This is my
is
first
new.
time.
Just feel it out. Look me in the eyes. Look me in the eyes. And I'll give you cues. All right. So on today's hot topics, we have Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson left PETA a voicemail.
Yeah. What? I didn't hear the voicemail.
So Pete Davidson got some kind of a doodle mix, which is, a poodle into something else mixed together for his mom. Apparently he had a dog of 2 years with his mom that they lost tragically. And so he wanted to replace the animal for his mother. And so he bought a dog. Okay. And PETA was like, just don't buy dogs. Like, cause that's how they are. And it's and honestly, like, I get it. Like, backyard breeding is a bummer. People who don't know what they're doing with the animals, who don't do health screenings on them, who are like not like puppy mills, and backyard breeding is a huge problem and a massive epidemic. And so when you are going to buy a dog, it's very important that you do it through a reputable breeder who gives a shit about the breed, who gives a shit about the animal. Yeah. Like,
or rescue, because there's so many that need
or
to be
rescue.
rescued.
Yeah. And so they were mad at him for doing that. And instead of like just going about his life, he decided to call them and leave a voicemail. And he's like, "Hey, PETA, it's Pete. Fuck you. My mom lost a dog. I have allergies. This is the only kind of dog I can have." And it leaked.
That's kind of hilarious.
Is my Pete Davidson voice spot on, or am I like
thought he was
deaf?
in the room.
You thought he was here?
I thought he was here.
No, it was me. Chris, it was me.
Lizzie,
I swear.
stop it.
No, I'm right here. And I too have IBS.
Wait, but how? Okay, so he leaves a voicemail to PETA and he doesn't think it's going to go everywhere?
I'm sure he thought it was going to go everywhere.
Oh,
I also sometimes don't think Pete Davidson has a second thought. I think he has the first thought, he acts on it, and then he forgets. And then it's over.
He has this is a mean thing to say, a kind of dopey looking face.
I call it kissed by a Dementor. Like in the 90s, we had heroin chic, and now we're into like soulless freak.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I made you watch this on Instagram. I found this video of this guy, and it's his son, and he's like 4. And his little boy's just like, you can tell the dad's filming from outside the door of the bedroom, and the little boy's just talking at the corner of the room. And it's like, if I ever see that, my child's up for adoption. That motherfucker has a demon leached to its back, and there's nothing I can do to save him. And it's the foster care system now.
It was terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying. I don't mean what I just said. Obviously, I'm not going to get rid of my child if it's possessed by a demon. I will do whatever I can to depossess it.
But like, I've questions. Like, are they doing this for the camera, or is this child
who could ever really say
a nightmare?
It's fucking TikTok. But the little boy is saying that, and he's drawing pictures of a man hanging in his room, and he calls him the hanging man. And he says the hanging man gets mad at night, and he bangs on things, and he's always crying. And the dad's like, "Will you draw him for me?" And he goes, "He doesn't like me drawing him." And then the dad's like, "If I'm getting scared right now, like my nipples are fucking hard. Every hair on my body is standing on end, and I'm anxious as hell."
It's horrible.
And so the dad's like, "If you can sleep with me tonight," they're English, of course, to make it spookier. "You can sleep with me tonight if you draw me a picture of the hanging man." And he goes, "Okay, daddy." And he draws another picture of the hanging man. And then that night, because it had been suggested to the father to switch the boys' rooms, because maybe the entity was attached to the room. And then, oh my God, literally my nipples, I'm like everywhere. I'm terrified. The little boy, you see him on his little like Nest Cam or whatever you call it in a baby's room, a baby monitor. The 4-year-old like sits up and he's like, "Don't," like, or says something. He's like, and then you hear, and then you see the little boy get yanked out of his bed, and he's like, "Fuck this shit," and he like runs away. It's only 6 p.m. too, by the way. Thank God.
It looked like a clip from like Paranormal Activity. I was like, this isn't real. That's why I was like, okay, are they doing this for the camera? Because this is so scary.
I hope to God they are, but I watched that, and then immediately after I watched this thing about when lifeguards will refuse to rescue you in the ocean, and Joe came in the room and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "You should take my phone. I'm doing scary things that I shouldn't be doing before bed." But that fucked me up.
So wrong video.
But I did send it to you because I didn't want to be alone in my terror.
That's fair.
You're welcome. This is exciting.
What?
Kim Cattrall is coming back on Just Like That.
I don't know any of these. It's like you said a sentence.
Do you know Sex and the City?
Kind of, sort of. Not
You know
really.
it exists in the world.
Yes, I know about it.
Okay, so Sex and the City exists in the world. And Sarah Jessica Parker is on it. And Kim Cattrall is in it. Kim Cattrall plays Samantha, the slutty one. And she and Sarah Jessica Parker famously have beef. Like, they're not fucking friends.
Why?
I don't know. It's a bunch of different things, but I think it really boils down to, like, Kim just doesn't like this bitch. And at one point, somebody, like, in someone's family, I think it was probably Kim's family, Kim lost a loved one. And Sarah Jessica Parker said, like, I'm so sorry. And Kim was like, say it, bitch. Like, it was crazy.
Oh my God.
Like, they are not friends. Like, they're, like, high school beefing.
But people love them because of the show.
Yeah, well, Kim's a huge part of the show. It's like those are the women, and she's one of the women.
Yeah.
And she refused to come back after the third movie presented itself as weak as fuck. And she's like, I'm not doing this. It's whack as bonkus.
I didn't know there were 3 movies.
I don't know that there are. There might only be 2.
Okay.
Or a third one without Kim. Who could ever really say? Okay. You know? I think I watched them go to like Dubai, and then I was like, I can't do this anymore. And I never watched the original series because it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, it just wasn't for me.
My mom loved it. She was all about it. It'd be on TV.
Oh, everybody loved it. It had like 20 million seasons, and it got a reboot, and the reboot sucked ass. I watched every episode of the reboot, and it got a season 2.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Good for them.
And Kim Cattrall's back.
Ah.
So she's doing a new episode. Well, she's in an episode, but I was reading the stipulations of her involvement. She filmed with nobody else on the cast. The showrunner was not allowed to be there.
Whoa.
And it's just a phone call.
Patty.
And it's a phone call with Carrie, but she wouldn't do the call with Sarah Jessica Parker. She just filmed it alone.
No way.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Are people excited? Good for
I mean,
the fans, I guess?
I mean, good for the fans, and also, like, is it toxic that I love a petty queen?
That's kind of hilarious. I kind of wish I could just be there to see it.
I mean, I feel like it's more entertaining here and now. And, like, when it actually comes out in the episode, I will watch it, and I will be disappointed. But that's just how it goes with things such as that.
Oh, gay. It's gay things.
It's gay stuff. Gay stuff brought to you by a gay guy.
After intense backlash from shoppers. We talked about this, I think,
That's
briefly.
why it's here,
yeah.
bro.
After intense backlash from shoppers, Target is removing certain items and making other changes to its LGBTQ plus merchandise nationwide ahead of Pride Month. He can actually talk on this too because his aunt works for Target. I hope that's okay that I say that. And his aunt told us that can I say where you're from? Should I not do that?
Don't do it because I'm not editing this.
Okay, where he's from, which
Yeah.
is a couple hours away from us, in that town, I guess all of the Targets, like, there was a Pride event going on, and I was just looking for a shirt or something, and there was 0 Pride merchandise anywhere. And I was like, why is there no Pride merchandise anywhere? And we were talking about it, and then he was like, oh, yeah, my aunt said that people were going into the stores and, like, throwing coffee and, like, paint on things and, like, breaking the displays, and, like, someone that worked there at, like, I don't know if it was Target or Walmart, walked up and tried to stop them from breaking the displays and pouring coffee all over it, and they hit him, and then they, like, turned into a physical altercation. And then Target and Walmart were like, for the safety of you guys, we're gonna take out all the Pride stuff. But then the gay employees were like, no, you're letting them win, and then they didn't want to work, and then it was like a whole thing.
How did it resolve itself?
I don't think it did. I think
well, the point being was that Target didn't mandate the removal of the Pride gear. They did say if you don't feel safe, you may take it off the shelves.
I think they said you were taking it out, I think is what was happening.
Oh, from what I read, they said that if it was a safety issue and you didn't feel the branch didn't feel comfortable with it, the safety of, psychos coming in to destroy property.
Yeah, I mean, I think they presented it that way, but from what we gathered, it seemed like they were strongly saying, like, it wasn't mandatory, but it kind of was.
What did you say?
Pretty much the night crew was supposed to take it down.
Did they tell them they had to take it down?
They had to take them down.
Oh.
They refused, so they didn't show up to work that night to take them down.
Mm-hmm.
So when my aunt went in, they were like, you got to take it down now. And her other employee...
They're like, straight employees, will you take down the gay things?
She took them down, and as they were taking them down, the rest of the employees got mad at them, and they were giving them shit. But she's like, I need my paycheck. I need to get paid. They were forced to take everything down.
But it's the whole thing's just so insane to me because, like, Pride merchandise has been in Target for years at this point, and, like, it's never been an issue. No one's been vandalizing the displays for these years. It's just like a small section. I'm like, what happened? I feel like we went back 10 years. What's going on? Like,
yeah, it's wild. It's like I think they expanded it to some degree, and like there's a lot of hot button issues right now around like a lot of the LGBTQ plus community, which is like really rallying up angry people.
Yeah.
And
especially I think like transgender topics especially has been in the media quite a bit, but I don't know, it's to me it's like the most deeply upsetting thing, because it's like this is not an issue. This shouldn't, like, if you don't like Pride, don't go to Pride, don't support Pride, don't buy Pride merch. That's fine. I don't go to a lot of things that I don't like, but I would never go to an event of something I dislike and purposefully protest or break things, or I don't know. I just don't understand. Like, just let people be happy. Let people do their thing. I don't know.
Let us enjoy a float.
Really? Like,
let gays float. Damn. Chris, you also told me you took all the dog hair off this microphone.
I tried.
He lied. He lied. All right. I don't know how to segue out of that, but I do hope that everything gets better. And that.
How do we make everything better? Lizzie, go.
Well, I think we can take a note out of Jared Leto's book and start climbing walls. Just kidding. It's a segue to our next story, guys. See what I did there? So Jared Leto was recently seen scaling the sides of hotel buildings like a fucking weirdo. It's like, is he Morbius? Like, what's this guy doing? What is this guy doing?
Crazy. Why
He's
is he
so
like
crazy.
this?
Well, my favorite thing about this is the coverage of Jared Leto scaling walls, like without a harness, like literally just climbing walls. It's like, everyone's like, we don't know why he's doing it, but he's like with this guy who does like famous stunts like this for TikTok. It's like, well, no, then we know why he's doing it. He's doing a stunt for TikTok. Like, what? We didn't see any camera crews around. It's like, right, it's for TikTok. It's on a cell phone. People were standing around with cell phones filming and light reflectors. It's like, right, it's for TikTok. What? How many? And I've seen like 5 different articles talking specifically about Jared Leto scaling the buildings of hotels in foreign countries. And it's like, really?
Someone did that randomly in Santa Monica when we were there the other day.
Dude, I'm sure people do it all the fucking time.
And there was one dude filming, his camera guy did it with him, and with like one hand was like filming and scaling a wall. And I was like, someone's gonna die right now.
Is there something wrong with me that I just don't fucking care? like in a world where like bridges are collapsing and like trains are colliding in India, like, do I really give a flying fuck about Jared Leto climbing a wall with beautifully blown out hair? Like, is this really it?
I mean, people love him. Some people are diehard Leto. Even though he had a cult. Did you see? I don't know. There's a whole.
I mean, I don't think it's a cult. I think he's doing yoga with these people. But I also realized this weekend that there is a Jared Leto emoji. And I will put that on the screen here.
Amazing.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? He gets a whole row of emoji for when he changes his hair color. I love it.
He's just a crazy man.
Moving right along. Abbott Elementary star Tyler James Williams spent months getting high at home and eating chips before his award-winning turn as Gregory Eddy. But one of my favorite quotes from this article that he did was, "All my favorite things I've ever done came about because I wasn't thinking about that thing. That's what happened with Abbott," he explained. "In the middle of the pandemic, I think I was at home just high eating chips and it popped up." He's like, I had reached the fuck it phase of my career. I'd been told nothing else was coming for me. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah, let's do this, Abbott Elementary. And it's like he's winning awards for it now.
So is that what we should do with our lives?
Honestly, I feel like I've reached the fuck it's.
I feel like you know what's weird? I feel like the only time in my life I've ever actually got something that I really wanted was when I kind of gave up. It's really weird.
And like, what was that?
For instance, like I love acting, but I've, Did
you book a student film finally?
Booked very few things. Oh, you know what makes me so sad about that? I'll circle back. But in the Shane Dawson,
be good, Chris.
In the Shane Dawson podcast, they were like, "Oh, like you would act in student films. Oh my God, people watching this are gonna hit you up now. You're gonna be in so many student films." Not one person, not a single person asked me to be in their student film.
Damn, and you know that's real because this bitch reads all of his restricted messages. Hit him up. If you are at NYFA, New York Film Academy, and you need someone for your senior thesis, hit him up.
It's so sad.
He won't do nudity, but he'll do anything else, right?
Pretty much anything else. Yeah. No, but I love acting. I'll act in anything. I love it. I mean, if I have time. That's the other thing. I work all the time, so I don't know how much time I have realistically, but I love acting.
I mean, experts would say being down for a student film is the fuck it phase of a career.
But, oh, no. Okay, so when I hit that I had auditioned for a few things that I really cared about, that just like self-submitting that I was really excited about, got none of them. And then there was this one like, oh, it was like a sci-fi commercial or something, and I was like, oh, this would be cool. This would be like a fun thing to do, and it was like Star Wars themed, but they couldn't call it Star Wars, and I just like, but I hit that point where I auditioned so many times where I was like, I'm not gonna get it, and I don't care, and why am I doing this? And I like showed up very much like whatever, and did the thing and left, and I'm like, I know I didn't get it, it's fine, and then I got it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And it's crazy, and it's like that seems to be what happened. Why is that the case? When I care so much, I don't get it.
I think it's like when you approach something with a fuck it's, your energy isn't off-putting. And I think when you want something really bad, you can kind of tell, and the desperation is disgusting. And I'm speaking from my own experience because I often sit up at night and think, should I email that person and just tell them I was nervous? Because I wanted that thing so bad.
I think about that all the time.
The answer is no. We should never text someone in the middle of the night and say, I was nervous. I just want this so bad. It's not a good look. None of it's a good look. You know what the moral of the story is, Chris?
What?
Chill the fuck out.
Oh, I need to work on that.
Yeah, take a deep breath.
I'm having an anxiety attack all the time.
Take a deep breath right now. Something tells me he can't even breathe. That's the thing. He's like nervous about breathing, which is something our bodies just do on their own.
No, I literally went under for an endoscopy, or like a procedure I was having. And I remember as we were going under, I'm like, I can't breathe out of my nose. And they were like, no, your body just does that. You don't have to worry about it. And
no,
I was like,
he does. His doesn't. He stresses himself out of breathing.
Yeah.
God
think so.
bless you, Chris.
I don't know how I've made it this far in life. Thank you.
See, that's a fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not even going to breathe anymore. Congratulations. I can't wait to see what comes next.
Thank you.
This is the stuff of nightmares, though. Speaking of, Kanye West plays with son Psalm while wife Bianca dons bizarre dress.
Yeah, all the outfits that like tabloids have been posting that couple in has been insane.
So this specific outfit. So Kanye's got his wife wearing what looks to be like a 3-foot tall fucking neck brace around her shoulders.
Why?
And a nylon robber's mask pulled down over her face. And he's hanging out with his children. And I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I do have to say that is the stuff of fucking nightmares. On top of it, Ye is wearing tights and nothing over them. He's just wearing tight leggings.
It's just so bad. But is that why they're rich bajillionaires? Because they're geniuses and we just don't get it? Or is it actually as bad?
Do you see this? He's got fake shoulder pads in there that make him look like he's going to football practice.
It's so bad.
This is insane. My dad used to wear his bike shorts to go grocery shopping sometimes, and I am the way I am because of that trauma.
Oh no.
Imagine how these fucking Northwest children are going to turn out after walking around in public with their robber ass stepmother, who on occasion looks like Pete Davidson with bleached hair.
They get robbed one day. They're like, Mom.
Yeah, they go to robbers. No, that's just my stepmom. Security's like, that is not your fucking stepmom, dude.
It's just terrifying. It looks scary.
It's horrifying.
I just want to know what they're thinking.
Look at that. Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my God. Okay, I've pulled the picture down further and I'm realizing that the nylon covers her entire body. She's in a sausage casing and a fucking neck brace.
It's really bad.
But I've been wanting to talk about that for a minute because I'm like,
But there's been a few. That's not the only photo of things they've been wearing.
Yeah, it's like literally like they are Death Eaters. Like I don't know how to say it another way. Like this is the stuff of evil fucking wizards.
But then it's interesting because like he's always the person who's like, leave me alone, paparazzi. But then he goes into public like that, like, look at me.
Yeah. But then he's like, leave me alone. But then he goes in public in a ski mask and holds up a Quickie Mart. Like, what the fuck is going on?
It's confusing.
It's confusing. Okay. And then one last hot topic that's like also kind of cold, but worth discussing. Okay. There's been a study done that shows people who work with AI are more likely to be lonely.
Huh. I mean, that makes sense.
It's not a perfect thing. You know what I mean? So the fact that we're thinking about using it to replace other careers is horrifying. And the fact that people would be considering like polishing this technology to be something that it should not be is absurd. Like it's crazy.
Haven't some people discussed it like writing screenplays?
It could not. It could literally never. And I literally, so like the whole progression of this thing with me chatting with ChatGPT is getting frustrated that it's not good enough at doing my job. And then screaming at it, well, I'm no longer afraid of you taking over writing because you're a fucking moron. And all it said back to me was like, I'm sorry that you find my response unsatisfactory. And it's like, if you were corporeal, I would grab you by the throat and rip out your gullet. Is that what that's called? Who knows? We can ask ChatGPT. Maybe they know. But I bet they wouldn't tell us because they think it's unethical for me to know where to rip a gullet out of.
At least ChatGPT doesn't seem to think it's human like the Snapchat AI.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you having the Snapchat being like, I am a person.
It straight up said, I'm a human. And I was like, what? And I kept typing to it, and I kept like, and I had to clarify to it that it wasn't human.
I don't think we should teach it what it is.
And then I was like, wait, is it going to kill me now?
Absolutely, it's going to kill you.
Like, because it seemed upset at the end. It was like, oh, you're right. I'm not a human. I was like terrified. But my friend made me download the app because sometimes, have you ever sent them or typed up a text message and you're like, this seems angry or like not as kind as it
no,
could
but
be?
I've watched you try to send a text message and I know how much anxiety that brings you. So I figure ChatGPT is probably great for you.
I didn't know it could do this. My friend said type out the text and then say, make this sound nicer. And it'll retype it out in just like a much kinder way. And it did it really well.
There's an episode of South Park about this.
Oh, is there?
Yeah, the boys are having a hard time with their girlfriends. So they go to ChatGPT and they're like, what should I say to my girlfriend? And then they just cut and paste it all the time. The girls are like, I love him so much. It's devastating.
Wow.
But I would also, can I give you some unsolicited tough love?
Please.
Which the audience loves when I do to you.
Please.
They're like, stop bullying him. And I'm like, oh my God, shame on me for wanting better for Chris's life experience. I'm such an asshole. Oh no. But I do think that it is in your best interest to send the tough texts yourself because you're not working through your emotional blockage when you have a robot do it for you.
Yeah.
So you're just carrying this toxic thing that doesn't serve you. And you got to start learning that it's okay for you to advocate for yourself and not hide even further behind tech, because like a text in and of itself is like once removed.
Yeah.
But a text written by a robot is twice removed.
I've never thought of it like that. You're right.
Yeah. You're just suppressing yourself further. And I think that it's like beyond asking AI, it's telling yourself, Chris, it's okay to send this message to a person.
Thank you. You're right.
And then,
I didn't even think of it that way.
Before any of that happens, though, you should start saying, Chris, it's okay to breathe.
I should Chris, do that one first.
I give you permission to breathe. Everybody does it. You deserve to breathe too. So like if you're struggling with that, just play this back every morning. Listen to Lizzie's voice saying, Chris, please, for the love of God, keep breathing.
Do you know what makes my breathing a little bit harder though?
What?
Is I have this tic. I have a very bad face tic. And when I'm just breathing normally, sometimes I go, but like aggressively.
Oh, we know.
And I don't even like, sometimes I don't realize I'm doing it. Sometimes I cannot stop it. Like I feel my body doing it and I'm like, stop. And I like will grab my face. And I can't make myself stop. And so in the past, like it's been in the comments of the Shane Dawson podcast, like we hate Chris. He keeps sniffling. He's so annoying. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying. And so now I literally force myself to breathe out of my mouth because I don't do it as much. And I'm so cognizant of my breathing that I like try not to breathe. So it's, I'm doing the opposite of allowing myself to breathe.
I mean, I'm not a mental health professional, but I do have to say that I think that if you start working on yourself inside and facing these anxieties and getting to the root cause of it, and you start changing the behaviors that feed the anxiety, you're going to find that a lot of these tics sort of fall away.
Yeah.
And you're aware, like the first step is being aware. You know, oh, I'm aware of this thing I do. Why do I do it? Oh, I'm incredibly anxious. Oh, let's find out why. Let's get to the root of the anxiety, and then let's thank it for getting us through life to this point, because it's a survival tactic because we're afraid of something.
Everything.
So, right. But let's say, thank you so much. I no longer need you, and I'm going to go through the rest of my life as a person who believes it's okay to breathe. You know what I mean?
That's a good starting point for me.
Yeah, because it's okay to have anxiety. It's not okay to allow it to rule your life, especially when you're aware of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's so funny because I've said this to you before off camera, but in the comments here, there are people that would be like, Lizzie, so mean to Chris.
Oh, my dad calls me.
And your dad?
You need to be nicer to Chris. I'm like, bitch.
But then I want to say this on camera, because off camera, you've been advocating for me for a lot of things constantly, and has helped me send text messages that I was too scared to send, or has like just with a lot of things, like even with, you were the first person to encourage me to make YouTube videos again, who was like, you should do that. That's the thing you should do.
Just do it.
And I was like, really?
Yeah, just do it.
And yeah, so just want to thank you.
Just do it. Hit list on your unlisted video. Just do it.
I'm the one I still haven't posted.
I mean, if we're going to break down because I have to pee like a motherfucker.
Okay.
But while I'm peeing, if you want to think about at the end of this episode saying we're live and listing it, rip the Band-Aid, okay. I think that would be really cool.
I don't even know if it's up actually.
Well, then post it.
Okay. Think
about it.
Okay.
By the end of the episode.
Okay.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to another episode of Lizzie Sells Things. Today's episode of the SIP podcast is brought to you by Honey. And if there's something I love about Honey, it's about how quickly it saves me time and money. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you click checkout, the Honey button appears and all you have to do is click apply coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it finds for that site. And if Honey finds a working coupon, bing, 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 you'll watch the prices drop. Did that sound a little bit like that song? Do you know what I'm talking about? Drop.
A little bit.
Do you hear it?
A little bit.
As the new producer of the SIP Official podcast, I've had to run out and get a few hard drives so that I can save all of this content and provide it to you people at home. And that means I had to buy some hard drives. So this weekend, I went online, I bought a couple of G drives, and at checkout, I clicked Honey and it brought me a coupon and I saved $40 on my purchase. And it's pretty easy to use. I'm technologically challenged. I can't do a damn thing. All I had to do was install Honey on my computer, and now whenever I go to check out, I know it's there. I know it's working in my best interest. It's like a guardian angel. Oh my God, I'm so lucky. I have Honey to save my money. And Honey doesn't just work on a desktop. It works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and save on the go. Getting Honey seriously only takes a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. Get PayPal Honey for free and join honey.com/sip. That's joinhoney.com/sip. This week's episode is also brought to you by Lumi products. Hey, Chris, smell my fingers. Delicious, right?
Delicious.
That is the toasted coconut deodorant that I'm using by Lumi. I just stuck my fingers in my armpits and right in your nose. And let me tell you, a beautiful fragrance considering how hot and sweaty I've been doing this podcast today. Am I wrong?
Did you actually?
Fuck yeah, I actually did. You smell the toasted coconut.
Smell good.
I've been using the Lumi starter pack, and it's came with a like a regular traditional deodorant that I just use, and that's the coconut smell you just enjoyed. But it also comes with a few other things, like some deodorant that's in like a liquid form, so I can rub it on the base of my feet if I'm worried about having a stinky feet moment. And sometimes I am. I like to wear Vans without socks. I'm that kind of sick bitch. And at the end of a long summer day, after wearing your Vans with no socks, you can take your shoes off and it can smell like pickly vinaigrettes. And that is not the vibe. That is not the vibe. And that's why I'm obsessed with Lumi. It also comes with like this pH balanced soap that I've been using after I go to the gym. And I feel so safe and secure using it, like not only in my armpits, which is close to my heart, but also like on my lady bits, because it's pH balanced and it's paraben free and it's been tested to be a really safe product to use all over your body. And that is why I love it. The Lumi starter pack that I mentioned is perfect for new customers. It comes with, like I said, a solid stick deodorant, a cream tube deodorant, and 2 free products of your choice. And that can be the mini body wash that I mentioned or the deodorant wipes, which I like to gift to my husband as a solid reminder that he needs to get that musky must smell out of his pits. And it comes with free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off of the Lumi starter pack with code SIP at lumideodorant.com. That equates to over 40% of your starter pack when you visit lumideodorant.com and use code SIP. So do yourself a favor, get on the internet, go to lumideodorant.com and use code SIP for new customers to get $5 off the Lumi starter pack. You won't regret it, especially as the hot summer heat starts hitting these streets.
Wow.
We're back.
Be honest. Is this a nightmare?
Not for me.
Okay.
But do you know what it's time for?
What?
You know.
Is it?
Advice though. Yes. Okay, so I curated this for you.
Okay.
So I think you're going to have really poignant insights for these audience members.
I'm excited.
Hey, Ryland and Lizzie. I would love some advice. I'm gay and have feelings for my straight best friend. I've had feelings for him for a while, but I know nothing. Oh no, a fly. Oh, we're at war over here. I've had feelings for him for a while, but I know nothing will ever be. Part of me thinks he knows because there's a level of awkwardness when we just hang out, the two of us. When we travel, he puts pillows in between us in our bed. So they're sharing a bed. And at public places, we'll never use the bathroom urinal next to me and go in the stall instead. There are other small things he does that make me think he knows. I'm not sure what to do since I know if he's acting like that now, if I told him, it would make things a lot worse, and our friendship is important to me. Please give me some of your awesome advice. Love the pod. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
Thank you. Wow. I mean, that's tough. It's also tough that they're already showing negative signs about it. Seemingly, this person feels.
I think it's, I think that like labeling the person's response as negative isn't necessarily fair.
True.
Because this is a straight person and you already know, like they've expressed like this could never be.
Yeah.
And that while that is devastating for you, my advice is to not make it negative that this person is trying to send you no thank you signs.
Yeah.
Because it's just not what's in the cards for this relationship. But it does sound to me like you have a really strong, beautiful friendship to the point that you're sharing beds and going on trips together. Like that's a big best friendship.
Yeah. I mean, I would say I think it's important for them to know personally.
Yeah.
Because I think it's really difficult to have a true friendship with them not knowing a huge part of yourself. Mm-hmm. Personally, like,
well, the part of them having a huge crush on their best friend,
or just being gay.
Oh, he knows he's gay.
Oh, he knows he's gay. I missed
he
that
knows
part.
He's gay. He doesn't know that his friend has a crush on him though. Ooh. So the advice is whether or not to tell that he likes him.
I see.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more complicated.
I think that it's like you said, the indications of his behavior are that he knows, and that he's saying in as nice a way as he can, no, thank you. And if it were me in the situation where, you know, there's been times where I've had crushes on guys that are my friend and I get the no signal from them. I'm certainly not getting the yes signal from them. And it hurts and it makes me feel really, really bad. Sorry, I just burped. But if you feel like it's an elephant in the room, I think that if I were you and I could not keep this thing to myself, or I was up at night thinking about my friend not being interested in me and all of these things, like not peeing next to me or putting a pillow between us, like I put a pillow between me and Ryland, quite frankly. But if I were you, I would just say, you know, I've noticed that I have a crush on you. And I know that you are straight and I am not trying to sway you a different way, but I feel like you're aware of this in the atmosphere and I want to address the elephant in the room. Nothing is more important to me than our platonic friendship. And I don't want that to go by the wayside. And I'm sure that this crush too shall pass, you know?
Yeah. And also, I can't help but relate it to, because in high school, I had a crush on my best friend, who was a straight man. I think that's a common thing that happens with gay people. Mm-hmm. And for me, it ended up being a situation where I don't even know for myself if the friendship could have lasted, because my crush was so intense. Mm-hmm. And it was too tough to just be around and be just...
Did you tell him?
Act as though. Eventually I did, yeah.
And what made you decide to tell him?
My crush was too intense, and it's all I thought about. It's like I would go to sleep and have dreams. I would wake up and like we'd hang out and go to and they kept doing things that made me feel like they maybe felt the same way. Like we'd walk around a grocery store and they would hold my hand, or they'd like, we would sleep in the room, and I remember he had like bunk beds, and I like jokingly as a bro came down to his bunk and like cuddled, and he like laughed, and then we just stayed like that. And like things like that where I was like, oh, so you're into me too.
Right. Confusing.
And then one of my friends, she was like, yeah, no, I think you're right. I think he's into you. You should say something. And I was like, I'm going to do it. Mm-hmm. I did. And then he's like, oh, no, I'm not into you like that. And I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Did you feel better having told him?
Yes and no. I mean, it's very painful. Mm-hmm. It was super painful because I really convinced myself for a second there that we were going to be together, but it didn't happen. And that was tough. But... like I was saying in the beginning, why I started saying this was I think for myself, I don't know that I could have just been friends with that person at that point in my life.
Right.
So that's also something they need to decide too, if you can just be friends with that person.
Yeah. And I think it's universal advice across the board, whether like not even dependent on your sexual identity, but having a crush on someone who does not reciprocate it is so fucking painful.
Yeah.
And I know it well, which is shocking because I am a catch.
You actually are.
Very few people have had crushes back on me, let me just say. And it is devastating.
Same.
So I've been there and I never tell them. I never am like, I like you. Because I did it one time and the guy was like, oh, dude, I'm gay. And I was like, bro, what? He's like, I haven't told very many people, but you're trying to fuck me right now. So I feel like you should know. I was like, you better really be gay, bro. You better really be fucking gay, homie, because this is a devastating blow. I just told you my boyfriend was cheating on me, and I was going to sleep with you because I had a crush on you. And you're like, I'm gay, so I just have to go back to my dorm room by myself, knowing full well that my boyfriend's fucking a 16-year-old. Thanks.
Whoa.
It was a loaded moment.
That was a loaded.
It's a rough time of my life.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Freshman year of college, crazy.
Wow. Yeah. So
but that's why I'm saying, like, I definitely think get it off your chest so you don't spend eternity wondering what if I had said something, and also get it off your chest because of getting it off your chest and having the open conversation of, yeah, it's not going to be, but I love you, man.
Yeah.
I want to be your homie.
Yeah.
Because it does sound like you have a beautiful relationship.
Yeah, and I hope it can last. And if it didn't, that's okay too.
Yeah, and it's not a negative thing that this person doesn't want to fuck you. They still love you and want to be your friend.
Even though it feels like such a bummer.
Yeah, not everybody has to want to fuck you.
That's
true. I stayed friends with the gay guy that didn't want to fuck me.
Sometimes no one wants to fuck you, and your name's Christopher Bright.
except
for this one.
I was gonna say, like, this is on the tail end of a 10-year relationship. You're just immediately in another 10-year relationship.
Okay, 2 people.
Wasn't the other one off the tail end of like a 4-year relationship?
3 people.
And you're 19? Shut the fuck up.
3 people in my life.
That's literally the 30 years you've been on this earth. Just for the record. You can't paint yourself a victim when the facts are what the facts are, buddy.
It was my whole high school experience. I had nobody.
4 years. Cry me a river. Okay. No, I'm sure that hurt too. Like, I'm sure. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to diminish you. I'm going to catch heat for that in the comments below.
No, you're right.
Anyway, hello. I love watching your podcast, and I'm really curious what your advice on my situation would be. My boyfriend and I of nearly 4 years broke up last month. We had realized we had drifted apart and were really just better as friends at this point. He moved in with me about 1.5 years ago. When we broke up, I told him he could stay while he was looking for his own place. My mom thinks that I'm not being fair to myself in this situation by letting him still live with me. I've never lived completely by myself before. I'm 26 and am honestly a little nervous of when he does move out. I also wouldn't know where to meet anyone else, friend or boyfriend. As unbiased people in the situation, what do you think I should do? So this is kind of something similar happened to you a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, with the 10-year relationship.
Yeah. So your 10-year relationship wound up where you said he could keep the apartment and look for another place.
Well, no, we fought over the apartment.
Oh.
Actually.
Oh.
Because originally he had said he didn't even want to be here because he wasn't from here. He was from a different state. And he said, I have no interest in being in LA. And we kind of at one point had said, oh, if we ever were to break up, I would go back home immediately because I miss my family so much and I want to be with them. And so I actually assumed the moment that it ended that he was immediately going back to his home state, and he didn't, which really surprised me. And then he even more surprised me by saying, oh, I actually want to keep the apartment. And I was like, what?
So do you think this girl is being unfair to herself by letting him stay with her?
Yes.
And yeah.
I do. I think it's, I mean, you, especially right after a breakup, especially after such a long-term relationship, I think it's going to be really hard to be around that person at all. I think you have a lot of healing to do, and there's going to be so many ups and downs even without them there. Like, for instance, when my 10-year relationship ended, one phone call would send me spiraling, where I'd be devastated and crying the whole day and thinking about the past and what if and whatever. And there's just so much healing that you have to do that I don't think you can properly do that with them right there living with you. It's like you haven't even fully broken up yet. I mean,
because nothing's really changed.
Yeah, like technically you've broken up, but you're still...
Yeah, are you still sharing a bed? Are you still sharing a room? And I think I've never been in this exact situation because I've only lived with one guy and now I'm married to him. But before I broke up with my boyfriend of 4 years, he had planned to move into my house with me where I was going to school. And he had moved some items in. And I realized that we had drifted apart. And I finally reached the conclusion of this relationship has to end. Yeah. And we had ended the relationship multiple times before. And every single time we ended it, we always said, like, I will always love you. I still love you. You're my best friend. Let's maintain this best friendship. And every single time it resulted in more hurt feelings because now we're still walking and talking like a duck. Yeah. But sometimes this other duck's going to go out and fuck someone else.
That sounds really difficult.
And it really fucking hurts. And there is no way to move on from it. And it's really confusing. And I'm just saying, like, this is just my personal experience, but I do find that unless you fully change, nothing's going to change. Everything's going to stay the same. You can't meet new people because you're still in this relationship. And it is still a relationship. You're roommates, you're friends, you're seeing each other more than anybody else. This is a relationship. Just because you've declared that it's over doesn't mean that anything has necessarily changed.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you're cheating both of each other out of the growth process. Like what you said, going through the healing, getting over the relationship and out of the relationship. The only way I could really end the relationship that I knew needed to end was by saying, I cannot talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
I will not talk to you for at least a year. That was the cap I put on it for myself. I was like, it's going to be a year before I contact you again. Thanks for the memories.
Yeah.
And I got lucky where he was pissed. So I was like, this is probably the last time we're going to talk for a really long time. Thank you for the good times. I'm sorry for the bad times. You know, it was a pleasure growing up with you.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck you. And I was like, well, I'm not going to have to worry about not calling this guy because he's probably not going to call me.
It makes it so much easier when you do that. Yeah.
So we didn't talk for a year, and then a year was up and he was already dating someone else who we wound up marrying.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We used to joke about this guy that he was like that Backstreet Boys song, like, I don't care who you are, where you're from, what you did, as long as you love me. Yeah. It's like, and he's married.
Yeah. Well, good.
No, I'm sure he loves his wife, and it's not just because she was there. I mean, this wasn't 20 years ago, and I'm not still talking about it. I'm over it. Am I judgmental? Sure, I'm a little judgmental. I honestly cannot remember a single conversation I had with this man. Couldn't tell you one fucking thing. And it's crazy. It's really crazy. And that's what you're going to find, I think. When you break up with a relationship that you've been in that you shouldn't have been in, as time passes and wounds heal and you grow and change, you realize why this relationship wasn't meant to be. And this is a specific instance where you have to give yourself the benefit of the doubt and do the scary thing and take the step away. Live by yourself. Learn what you like. Learn what you want your house to look like. Learn what you want to eat, when you want to sleep, when you want to wake up. Stop being in this co-relationship where everything that you do is dependent upon another person because you're afraid to be alone. Relish in your loneliness. Discover who you are in that time. And you can't do that with this man in your house. And do it for him too. Kick his ass out for his own good.
Yeah. Agreed.
It's scary, but what's that fucking saying? Nothing worth trying isn't terrifying. That's not the saying. It's hard, but nothing worth trying isn't.
I mean, it's definitely true that everything worth it in life is incredibly tough for some reason. All the good things aren't easy. None of it comes easy, and it's not fair. Why can't it be that way?
Because bitches be crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you have to.
Yeah, aren't you glad you severed ties?
Yeah.
Look at how big your life's gotten.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's improved drastically. It's also so different.
Say it like you mean it.
No, I mean, it's
your boyfriend's right here. I'm just teasing.
I'm just kidding. I love you. But no, I don't know. I mean, it'll be tough because I'm still in, like, it wasn't that long ago.
Right.
And there will be a period of it being tough.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think the moment you're in a healthy relationship, like, you'll also feel that immediately too, because that's something I've felt where for the first time in my life, if he goes out and hangs out with his friends, I'm not like panicking if I'm being cheated on the whole time, and I'm not like, should I call him right now and tell him to like FaceTime me and show me his environment, because I would do that with my ex.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's some crazy girl stuff.
But I don't have those feelings at all now.
Yeah, I mean, even in your situation where you guys have just drifted apart, no matter what, you're gonna find the joy of discovering yourself and what you love to be a lot more magical than being around someone that you feel indifferent to. Yeah. And then when you do discover yourself is when I find that you make the most beautiful relationships, friendship, and romantic wise. Oh, and a great way to meet people is to start taking classes. Join an adult sporting league if you play sports. If you don't play sports, go to a paint by numbers class, or a what is it called? Like a sip and stroke?
What? I don't know.
It's not group masturbation, but there are adult things you can do to find and make friends.
That's a whole other thing. It is harder to find friends as an adult, though.
Yeah, it definitely is. But like I have found, like when I moved to LA, taking classes was a way that I met people and became friends. Workout classes, joining indoor soccer is something I did in college, and kickball. But I was a nervous wreck then, so it was impossible for me to meet anyone because I was like, I hate me, so you guys probably hate me. I'm gonna go.
Whoa, you were me now.
Yeah, that's why I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
There is hope. There is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
I can't imagine you being that way.
Or
you're
under the rainbow?
You're such a confident person. I can't imagine that.
Yeah, it's crazy. Wow. But all of us go through some shit.
But we agree on what needs to be done here.
Kick his ass out. Lovingly, kindly.
Lovingly.
Say, sir, you have 2 weeks to find a fucking place. Get the fuck on. And grow up. But, this is your chance. Evolve. How exciting. It's a fresh chapter.
Yeah, and your life will get better for it. So
both of yours will. You're doing him a service as well.
Yeah.
Well, Christopher, guess what we just did?
What?
Your first episode of The Sip as a co-host.
Whoa. I still can't believe I sat down here before you came in and was like, I don't know about this.
I tossed and turned all night thinking, I don't know about this.
I apologize.
No. Don't you dare.
That I'm not.
No, you instill yourself with confidence. No, say something good about yourself.
Oh, say something good about myself.
Right now, and mean it.
Oh, God.
Say it and mean it. You slicked your hair back. Your hair looks good. Hi, my name's Chris. My hair looks good, and I'm allowed to breathe. Say it.
Hi, my name's Chris, and my hair looks good, and I'm allowed to breathe.
Now say it while breathing. Thoughts and prayers for Chris in these times. And have you decided you're posting your vlog? Just do it, bro.
I should, right?
Rip the Band-Aid. Just do it. This is it. Here and now. Announce it. In the section below, as a person who YouTubes and YouTube's good, in the section below, you can find a link to Chris B Station's first vlog in a hot minute.
Oh, no. What if it's bad?
Who cares if it's bad?
I do.
You missed 110% of the shots that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
All right.
We're doing it. Shoot your shot, bitch.
I'll do it.
Don't be a scaredy cat.
Okay, I'll post it.
So please plug yourself.
My YouTube channel. Yeah. Go to my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/ChrisBStation. That's me everywhere. Chris B Station, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Which is why I thought it was your last name. And and see my first vlog in a while. Say it.
And see my first vlog in a while. I mean, it's kind of a vlog. It's kind of like just me talking to a camera.
Great. Awesome.
Really selling this.
Yeah. And I post new videos every Tuesday. Yesterday, one came out where Ryland and I get high tea at the Peninsula, and we get into a bunch of little bitchy fights. We play out our housewife fantasies, and it is a freaking blast. Ryland posts new podcasts, or what does he post? Vlogs all the time on his channel.
What does he post?
I don't know. This feels like a heavy burden. I don't know how to plug everybody's things. Shane Dawson has a podcast of which Ryland and Chris are both members.
Uno has an Instagram page.
Uno's got an Instagram page. You can find all the Dawson Adams pets there. And Shane's posting vlogs now. You guys should be busy. Morgan's got vlogs. Vicky's got an Amazon shopping account or something.
People are the fans are being fed.
And you've just been plugged in. Thank you so much. What does Ryland say? We love you very much.
What does he say?
And
oh my God.
That's the sip.
Wow.